You're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to
Nimejaliwa moyo upendo, ukipenda napenda galipaya, ila skendo zimefanya sijaseto, mademu wananihukumu vibaya. Nimeshabadili hata mienendo, nadai nimefuria mbaya. Wanasifanya kiki tena na skendo, sina nazo kisa wewe mama. Wananiita playboy heartbreaker, baada kitendo nasema wenye mimi hata kama na watania. Wananiita playboy heartbreaker, baada kitendo nasema wenye mimi hata kama na watania. Baby mi so mtu wa mchezo na bite oh yeah talewa na bite baby mi so mtu wa mchezo na bite oh yeah talewa na Chukulia poa tu, nioshe vyombo nikande, ila juhudi zangu bure tu. Namtendekeza kama mtoto, hata chakula kwa mkono shii, kama mashine nampatango, maana anaga bwawa la maji. Wananiita playboy heartbreaker, baada kitendo nasema wenye mimi hata kama na watania. Wananiita playboy heartbreaker, baada kitendo nasema wenye mimi hata kama na watania. Baby mi so mtu wa mchezo baby mi so mtu wa mchezo
the Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Let's Pop with Ewerton this beautiful Monday. It's a great time to be alive. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everybody's doing better. I have this quote in regards to you should start your day like a boss, knowing who you are, understanding your purpose, and basically walking like you own yourself and own the world. Let's Pop with Ewerton. It's all about redefining Africa, redefining ourselves, or redefine who we are in the African culture. But today we're going to talk about redefining the mental health awareness in Africa and also the stigma behind it. How can we redefine the stigma behind mental health? And I have a beautiful guest who's been an advocate for this. She's basically been sharing this openly without any fear and basically educating and giving us information in regards to what mental health is and basically just disregarding the stigma behind it, because sometimes it's okay not to be okay and it's okay not to talk about it. Thank you so much for guys for joining us online and live on TikTok. I hope you're doing better. I hope you're excited. I hope you're redefining yourself by having positive thoughts all around you, surrounding yourself with beautiful people who are empowering you and being better. Kindly download our app on Google Store and also stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. Follow us on all the social media and also to be able to follow us in regards to empowering and uplifting conversation. Thank you so much for that, guys. We're joining us on StreamYard, guys are joining us on YouTube. Karibu Sana on Black Hot Fire Radio Network, where you are the change you need to see here on Earth. My guest is almost joining us in regards to basically talking about mental health, defining it, and her journey is beautiful. Her journey is very empowering. It's very motivating, and at the platform that she's in, she's really doing a lot. I always celebrate this girl, her hard work, the work she's put in, and also the fact that she's fought this thing called mental health at her young age. It's outstanding. Like there's nothing that is impossible. Not anything is always impossible until it's done. It's all about believing in yourself. It's all about knowing where you want to go, having a vision, and also being strong in regards to um, saying no or clapping away the naysayers, because we know that every time you're stepping up for something or a calling or in regards to your purpose, people never ever understand that until they will be able to understand that. And you never have to explain anything in regards to what you're doing. But in time, people always figure that out and they'll basically follow you. So I'm really excited here today, Monday Blues. I hope you had a great weekend here, whatever you were on the weekend. I had a very quiet weekend, just meditating, spending time with friends, cooking, talking about life, manifesting great things, because I believe every day is a better day to be better. Every day is a better day to do your best, and every day is a better day to do your best. So, in regards to mental health awareness, our guest is going to be here just in a few, and we'll talk about mental health, what it means, and what she's fighting in regards to mental health awareness. So, I'm going to first define what mental health is in regards to what I've basically Googled in regards to this. So, mental health awareness, most people really do not know what mental health awareness is. And that's why I feel like in the African culture, it's really hard for people to talk about this because it seems like it's something which is downgrading you or downsizing you. But I will define what mental health awareness is as we all join, as everybody's joining us here on live on TikTok. We have Binta, thank you so much for joining us. We have Miss Governor, thank you so much for guys joining us. Please share the live and also invite people to be able to join us in this discussion. So, mental health awareness is the ongoing effort to reduce the stigma around mental illness and mental health condition by sharing our personal experiences. I'm going to repeat that again. Mental health awareness is the ongoing effort to reduce the stigma around mental illness and mental health conditions by sharing our personal experience. And that's our guest is going to be able to share with us her journey and the reason why she started this advocacy in regards to mental health awareness. And it's really grown in regards to her platform and what she's doing and the experiences people have had. And the beautiful thing is she's actually been an example because she's started talking about how our journey has been in regards to mental health, and it basically opened a pathway for other people to be able to feel confident. As Africans, it can be really, really hard to talk about these things. But since she led and she became an example, other people really joined in and were able to talk about it in regards to what they're feeling, in regards to how it can help when you talk to somebody about whatever you're going through and be confident about it. And often, I'm going to continue with the article. They say often because of misconception about mental health and mental fitness, people often in silence and their condition go untreated because we don't have anybody to talk about these things, which can be really sad. But I believe if we listen to a beautiful guest and how the journey has been for her, how the platform is really supporting a lot of people in regards to opening up, in regards to understanding where they are, in regards to understanding sometimes it's okay not to be okay. Sometimes you're going to have a little bit of confidence to step up in whatever you're going through in regards to having this advocacy of mental health awareness, in regards to mental health awareness, and also basically talking about. Sorry about that. But thank you guys for joining us on TikTok on Let's Pop with Iwatan, always redefining Africa. And today we're going to talk about redefining the mental health awareness and the stigma behind it. Basically, to stop the stigma about it, because that's why most people are not talking about it. That's why people are basically suffering in silence. They're not saying or talking about this thing. But I feel like it's really important, even in work spaces, it's really important to talk about this to feel like, you know what? It's just life. Everybody's going through this. And when you talk about it, it gets easier. So the stigma around mental health is basically when someone sees you in a negative way because of your mental illness. And discrimination is when someone treats you in a negative way because of your mental illness. Social stigma and discrimination can make mental health problems worse and stop a person from getting the help that they need. And also, it can be really expensive, mostly here in Africa or mostly here in Kenya. It's really, really expensive to really get a therapist. It can be really, really hard. So I'm gonna repeat what I said in regards to what is the stigma around mental health. The stigma is when someone sees you in a negative way, because of your mental illness. Discrimination is when someone treats you in a negative way because of your mental illness. Social stigma and discrimination can make mental health problems worse and stop a person from getting the help they need. Just allow me a moment in regards to this, and then we're going to get back to what mental health awareness. We're trying to get our guest in, so we're just going to go on a little short musical break as we try and get her in to talk about this topic.
Me pray every time I feel can't do no different. Swear me off a win, that's why I'ma try again. Pray every time I feel, cause God always a listen. One day I have to win, that's why I'ma try again. Tell me, working hard when I'm still struggling. Minimum wage can't cover my bills. Somebody tell me how I'm gonna live. They might complain, but I'm not giving. I'll do it now, sure. Only me and God know how my day go. Oh, I may have to make a bad drive out of town. I'm free, oh, my wife forgot the place I'm done. Yes, me, Tanisha first starter. When me just start, me used to hear be laughter. But you know, say a time for the master. And everything I say my point do me, I go after. Yes, it's free. That's why every day I'm OD. Just like get a girl from the east with a dream. I shoot for the top and make up in me one team. Every time I feel, can't do no different. Swear we have a way. That's why we're trying. Every time I feel, cause God always
We
is
just celebrating all the way to and you tuning into the Black Fire Radio and you're listening to
I know like say I just know life are rough, but keep on pushing and don't ease up. But crosses them won't see me break. Them not gonna live to see the day. Yo, I've been chewing up, so please follow me. Can't turn to nobody when me get hungry. The blessings alone me want surround me. That's why me pray every time I feel can't do no different. One day I have to win. That's why I'ma try again. Pray every time I feel can't do no different. Swear my heart will win. That's why I'ma try again. We have to try again, cause we have to win, win, win. We have to try again, cause we have to win, win, win.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, live on TikTok. Thank you so much for joining in on Let's Pop with Iwerton, Redefining Africa. Today we're talking about redefining the stigma behind mental health awareness here in Africa because it can be really hard, mostly here in Africa, to talk about mental health awareness and also the effects and how to basically go about it. I really appreciate everybody joining us on all the social media on YouTube, on TikTok, X, and also on StreamYard. Kindly stream live on www.blackhotfriendnetwork.com. I can see a beautiful comment here by Edith Rui. Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon here from Kenya. Thank you so much for joining us here on Let's Pop with Iwerton, talking about redefining the stigma behind mental health. We have a beautiful guest who's trying to basically join us in. We're just going to give her a few moments in regards to that, but she's an advocate for mental health awareness and she has a beautiful story in regards to her journey and basically the platform that she's basically open right now that is really helping her in spreading the mental health awareness campaign, which is really doing better. I will definitely let her introduce herself in a few, but if not, we'll still just go ahead and maybe she'll join us next time. We'll see how that's going to go. But I'll definitely inquire what mental health awareness is because it's a really fundamental component of health. Recognition of mental health disorders and awareness about its importance are very limited here in Africa because we don't really have a lot of people who are talking about it or really going deep into it. But I believe, in regards to a lot of research and also in regards to people talking about this, it's going to become a really definite topic that people feel very comfortable talking about it, comfortable sharing the experiences, and in time we get better because I feel like in our generation right now, it's really a dire issue because people are not really talking about it because they kind of find like a way to ooze that out with other factors like alcohol and drug and substances abuse, which is crazy. Or they basically go extreme, or sometimes we don't even come from a household that teaches how to communicate because our folks maybe do not even know how to talk about that. And I will say that sometimes we'll never basically blame our parents because that's how they were raised and they're basically putting that on us or basically just letting us follow the train in regards to how they're raised. By the time we find ourselves in such situation, and most of us as this generation, the Gen Z, they don't really know how to go through with this. But I can see a lot of people. Shout out to Elodie, who's actually came out and was basically talking about it. It's a main factor, mostly in the industry, the film industry, the music industry, and we can see people basically lashing out in how they're oozing these factors out. And it's so sad because that's not the train to go about it. The main thing is to basically find a support system and also talk about it. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us here in Chico. Thank you for Mr. Oh, someone is basically shouting out at Mr. Black Hot Fire Network. Someone is saying I'd call them. Okay. I don't know what you mean by that. But thank you for joining us and also kindly share the live and also invite friends to join in this conversation on how we can stop the stigma for mental health awareness for it to be very accessible or basically acceptable for us to talk about it and basically can be a main thing, like a very obvious thing for us to talk in regards.
Truth or dare? Are you playing? Truth or would you still want me if I didn't have it all? You could have had it with me, but instead you gave it up. Tell me, when is it gonna get to you? Everybody needs somebody, but I can't be your fool. When they ask you questions about me, tell them how you. How we could have gone places, but you were so impatient. Can't handle what I am now. You a fan now, and I'm not what I want. So tell me, are you down now? Cause I'm up now. So let's make truth or dare. Dare to forget that you used to treat me just like anyone. Truth or dare, is it true you care? Now that you can see the love from everyone. Tell me, now you care. Truth or dare, are you playing? Truth or dare, tell me, now you care. Truth or dare, are you playing? Truth or dare, tell me.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today on Let's Pop with Irritan. It's all about redefining Africa. Today's topic is redefining the stigma behind the mental health awareness behind the stigma in regards to mental health awareness. We will have our guest in time. I'm going to introduce her later. Hello, are you there? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Were you able to definitely get the link? Okay. Okay, sure. We'll have our guest soon. I'm really sorry about that, guy. But thank you so much for your patience in regards to joining this conversation regarding what is mental health awareness and how we can basically stop the stigma behind it, mostly here in Africa. And that's why the show is called Redefining Africa in regards to mental health awareness and the stigma behind it. Thank you for joining us live on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, StreamYard, www.blackoutparentnetwork.com. Download the app on Google Store, follow us and join in and ask people to join in on this topic in regards to what mental health awareness is. As I said earlier, in Africa, it's basically a very dire and touchy issue because we don't really talk about it, and also you don't find people really talking about it, but they really suffer in silence, which is so sad because I believe it's something which our generation is really going through, but we're afraid to talk about it because it's kind of like a something which is gonna make you feel like you're downgraded or people are looking down upon you. But it's I feel like everybody goes through this. Like sometimes it's okay not to be okay. And it's fine to talk about it with someone you really trust. And apart with this, we'll have our guest who will join us, who's an advocate for this in a very, very open, confident way. She talks about this anytime, everywhere. And her page is all about it's an open space. You can talk about your experience and basically how to understand, like, you know what? It's life, we go through this. We're all trying to figure this thing called life out, the ups and downs, twists and turns, and it's okay because by the end of the day, you are the change you need to see in the world, and you basically have to walk in confidence in who you are. And the fact that these issues in regards to stress or anxiety comes in, you can have a way to really deal with it. And I will define what mental health is and basically what the stigma is. In regards to my research, I can say like mental health awareness, it talks about although mental health awareness is the ongoing effort to reduce the stigma around mental illness and mental health condition by sharing our personal experience with other people. Often, because of misconceptions about mental health and mental fitness, people often suffer in silence and their conditions go untreated because it's kind of a big deal to talk about it. I think our guest is here. Thank you so much for being here. Are you there, sweetie? Anne? Just a moment, guys. We'll have our guest in view. Thank you guys for joining us on StreamYard. I can see Edith Roy. Good morning, good afternoon, Blackout Fan Network. Thank you so much for being here.
Um,
Mr.
Hello, can you
Good.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh my God! Hi, at last.
Hi, how are you? Sorry. Sorry, that was such a mission.
I know we've been waiting for you, but thank you for logging in. Hope you're doing better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Quite
like
a
maybe
mission.
this is not going to happen, but at last, hoping
Yeah.
the light is gonna save us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just introducing the guys following us on StreamYard, on live on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, that you're such an advocate for mental health awareness. And the first time I kind of like watched your story in regards to how you shared it, was really, really deep, touchy story. I literally cried and really, and the
Oh.
fact that you had the confidence to talk about this and the platform that you've created for other people to really feel confident talking about mental health awareness and the experiences is such a beautiful inspiration in regards to our generation because it's actually a lot right now in our generation and we're trying to figure out life and who we are and sometimes we can go through such experiences and the fact that you say that it's okay not to be okay, it's such a beautiful thing, you know.
Yeah. I think it's so important to destigmatize it because a lot of people are really going through it and they
Right,
just feel like this sense of shame. But if you destigmatize it and make everyone understand, everyone has their own thing they're dealing with. But
right.
talking about the great first step.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it okay if you can just give us a journey, just a shot, because we have like an hour, in regards to how you started really understanding this, and you're like, you know what, I need help, and how can I figure this out, and how can I also be confident talking about this, and basically be an advocate in mental health awareness.
Yeah, I think definitely joining like entertainment and media.
Mm.
I was talking to so many people all the time, and it always kept going back to mental health or mental wellness.
Right.
So then, when I decided to start talking about it, the backlash was actually what shocked me the most. But then, behind the scenes, like in my DMs, it'd be like, "Can you talk about this more?" or "Where can I get help for this?" People didn't have the resources, but like on the actual page, it's like people were upset that it was being spoken about. So it was just such a big disconnect seeing that as well. So then it was that night it became about rallying people and finding the right resources to help people get the resources that they need, so that they can move forward in a much more positive way, and they don't have to like go in the DMs and hide and like it be a secret. They could just get the help that they really needed. So that's, yeah, that's what. So then that's how Bonga came about. So Bonga is free anonymous counseling for any Kenyans. It's just www.bonga.oa.ke. You there? Hello.
Good morning, family. I don't know what the conversation's about, but it's dead air. I don't know if the and it's gone off over in Kenya or what. I think you're
Can you
back.
can you hear me?
Yeah, let me get out of here. Yeah, I hear you now. I seen you went out, so I think you're back. So let me be back your interview.
Okay.
I'm I'm gone.
Nice to meet you.
Hey girl, I'm really sorry about that.
It's okay.
Dang. It means it's supposed to be really such a good conversation. That's why all this is happening. But you were saying something. Thank you, Keith, for keeping our company.
um yeah, so just
Yeah.
talk yeah. So we're just
Yeah,
talking
and you
about
can go
resources.
ahead.
I think yeah, so I was just talking about like getting the right people resources, especially through Bonga, which is what we offer free anonymous counseling to any Kenyans anywhere.
Yeah.
Because then we realized we also had to like made it more cater to Kenyans. You know, we couldn't have
Right.
foreign therapists because then they weren't fully
Mm,
understanding the scope of like the issues or what people are opening up about. So
right.
since then we have about 300,000 users every single month.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and it's been interesting to watch that grow.
Yeah, it has really grown because I remember the last time we you're on my podcast and you were talking about this. What you had started Bonga?
We had just gotten like it was just starting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like you should give a really deep definition on what mental health awareness is because we really get really confused in regards to what that is. And really, people do not really understand what mental health awareness is. And that's why I feel like people do not really talk about it. And mostly, we can see in the industry, even this year, we lost a couple of people. And that was really
Mhm.
sad. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, people see it
Mostly
as a
in Africa.
disease. People see it as like witchcraft or disease, like so many things. And sometimes it could be just a chemical imbalance or maybe triggers. You know, a lot of people go
Yeah.
through like a lot since the pandemic in their
Mm,
own way. So, I think yeah, getting resources, having people like destigmatize and just talk about it as well, have been some of the
mm,
like hardest challenges, but also the most rewarding.
right.
Yeah, so like you have to just it's all about getting Kenyans to talk about it, but then also getting therapy as well, because that's why we offer free anonymous
Yeah.
counseling, because we
Yeah.
keep it anonymous so people can open up, but also therapy is so expensive. It can start at like seven
Mm,
thousand shillings.
that is so
You know,
true. And I feel
yeah.
like you like later left to study in Florida, and you said that it was
Mm,
really accessible over there for you. Like it was
yeah,
very, yeah, and like Kenya here.
yeah. I'm like, why is it so difficult back home? Like insurance, so many insurance don't cover it, or if they
Mm,
do, they don't have the best therapist.
mm,
So they'll just give a general diagnosis, and then you
right,
have a whole other situation about like medication, because medication is so expensive as well. So now that's the next part of Bongo that we're trying to figure out how to outsource, how to get people medication.
right,
Yeah, because we saw a lot of cases where people are sharing their medication, but they're not
right,
taking they're not taking any medication at all.
right.
Yeah,
Because that's here in Kenya. Because I
yeah.
remember, right. And how was the case when you were like back in Florida?
Oh, it was amazing. Like it was so convenient. It was so easy to find. Like the only thing was it was too convenient. Every third ad was like an antidepressant, but
Right.
to actually get therapy was like the one of the easiest things ever. They actually even recommend instantly. You just go and say you have a headache. They're like, "Have you seen a therapist?" You know.
Right. Right.
Um, Whereas here, it's super. Like I find it's really really expensive, or
Mm,
just not even offered unless it's like at the extreme end of a situation.
right. And do you feel like okay, in regards to the cases of mental health awareness, is it regarding the household where we're being brought up, and also maybe the workplaces or basically the issues of life? Because sometimes parents do not really have time for their kids, and they're
Yeah.
finding different ways to really ooze their maybe frustrations and questions about life.
Yeah, I think it's so many multiple factors. Toxic work environments, the stress, financial stress as well, we've noticed is one of the biggest ones. And then we've
Right.
also noticed a lot of loneliness, because the
Mm,
pandemic really pushed a lot of people back into like remote working. So that
right.
human interaction of being in the office or just being around other people, that kind of is lost on so many people. So we see a huge, especially with men, we see a huge loneliness
Oh, right.
situation going on. Whereas with women, they
Right.
like will chat with each other. You know, what I mean, they're a little bit more open to having these
Mm,
conversations and discussions. So it's also
mm-hmm.
trying to figure that out, because now you have a lot more people who are isolating themselves at a
Right.
much younger age. And then when it comes to financial stress, that's been a constant problem since the pandemic. A lot of people lost their jobs and never got their jobs back,
That is so
um
true.
or they like had their salaries cut, or they just their whole lifestyle has changed so drastically that they don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to handle it.
Right. I definitely agree with you. And we saw that a lot of people during that time, there was no actually peace in households. People are just not actually trying to figure anything out because they've never really been in such a situation. And
Exactly.
thanks to Bonga, and I feel like it's really doing great. But I just have this question, like, what really, really, really made you start this? Because it's really
um
a big thing for you. Like it's something you
yeah.
always talk about, like every time.
Yeah, so I lost a colleague and a really good friend of mine at Capital, so that's what kind of pushed it at overdrive. And I'd
Right.
lost quite a few friends to suicide, so it's just like, what are we gonna, like, what can I do, what small part can I play in
Mm,
fixing this situation? You know, and I feel like if
right.
everyone can play their part, um it would not, maybe it wouldn't completely have the answers to the situation, but at least it would be like in the right direction. So that's how I really
Right.
thought about, like, what part can I play so I don't lose any more friends and colleagues um
Mm,
in this. Yeah.
alrighty. And do you think like what's being streamlined on social media? Basically everywhere we see on the mainstream media, it's basically increasing the mental issues that people are really going through right now. Because I feel like you're also in the acting industry, right? Like you're playing a part in the film industry. Anna, you there? Are you there, Anne? I think we lost her, but we're gonna read the comments in regards to what people are saying here on StreamYard. Thank you everybody for joining us here on StreamYard. The topic is called Let's Pop with Iwatan, talking about redefining Africa and mental health awareness, the stigma behind it. We have a guest, an advocate for mental health awareness. Her name is Anne Mauder, who's basically playing a part in regards to mental health awareness. I hope she's gonna get back because we cannot hear her. We lost her, or she lost us. We can see Jibber Jabber. Good day to you, Ilton. Good day to you. I hope you're doing better. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Edith Ruby, for joining us. And thank you for everybody joining us live on TikTok. Kindly share and join in on this conversation in regards to mental health awareness and the stigma behind it, mostly here in Africa, because it's not really something that people really talk about. And it's affecting a lot of people, young people, because nobody knows how to deal with this. And also, kindly download our app on Google Store and also stream live on StreamYard, www.blackhotfridaynetwork.com. And really appreciate it. We were talking about mental health awareness and how it came about. Or I guess Anmaura has a platform that people really go talk about their experiences and how they can really, really, really figure this out. I think she's back. Hello, Anne, are you there? Anne, can you hear me?
All right, all right, Avatar's there. So I don't know why. What's going on? Maybe their
Right.
connection is bad. The connection.
It's really bad.
They have the same trouble you were having.
Yeah,
So
but it's
we
okay.
were.
We'll just go on hoping she's gonna get back into this and basically give us a feedback. in regards to how it's basically affecting the film industry, because she's also in the acting industry, and she basically some shows or some characters really that she plays really portray how we can be able to understand this topic, mental health. Now, when it's a really large topic that we can never finish today, but I feel like with time we'll be able to understand what it is, and the fact that you don't have to be afraid to talk about it to somebody, talk about what you feel,
A
talk
lot of mental
about
health in Africa depends on the economic situation.
right. Mostly
You
it's
gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go to the systemic problem. Now, this guy's about to crash right into this guy. Jesus Christ, what's going on?
right.
He's driving crazy. A lot of mental health issues systemically deals with the system that you find ourselves as the unfair system of capitalism that keeps everyone oppressed. So no one really, if you're dealing with financial problems, it causes stress, stress, mental health. Um, and sadly enough, a lot of what you call mental health is based on crackery. It's not even a real
Right.
science. Shout out to the people that finally coming up years ago. A lot of stuff is a lot, a lot of stuff is
Mm-hmm.
quackery. You talking about taking all this medication. A lot of medication is
Yeah.
terrible. Pharmaceutical stuff, a lot of stuff is terrible. It causes other symptoms. That's why. Did she say she was in Florida or something?
Yeah. She was.
Okay, so she done. There's a medication epidemic in Florida, really in the United States of over medicating people because this gives the pharmaceutical companies money. And so when you over medicate somebody, it causes addiction, and it
Mm-hmm.
never addresses the problem. It only addresses the symptoms. So it's the pharmaceutical company, fam. If you don't know, you always got to go back to the beginning of everything. I teach everybody this. A lot of Africans and people, just everybody in the world, doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even know the system that you're born in. How does it work? What is this? What causes these things? No one ever wants to go back to the root. You must always go back to the beginning. Pharmaceutical companies were started by the same people that run this planet. Same people gave you your school
Right.
system. It all starts from these same places. So you're born in a falsehood of thinking, okay, we have mental illness. Okay, then what's the effect of mental illness? Where's it start from?
Mm-hmm.
What's the causes? The causes are societal causes of pressure. So you live in a society that's designed to cause mental illness. So it ain't just that you got to change society. So if you're in a society that causes mental, that's why you didn't have all these mental illness 400 and 500 years ago. You didn't.
Right.
You have a
Right.
society now that causes mental illness. He says it's easy in Florida, yeah, because you're in a more developed country than Africa, than Kenya. That's why it's easier. You're in a more developed country. So why is Kenya less developed? So you can there's many factors, all this stuff. So, oh, you're so hard in Kenya because you're underdeveloped. So there's a reason why you're underdeveloped. The reason why it's easier in Florida because they stole everything out of Africa. That's why it's easier in Florida. That's why even though it may not still be healthy for you, because taking all these pharmaceuticals are dangerous. They're not
Right.
healthy for the human family to ever take. They were never healthy for the human family, especially African people, melanated people.
Right.
So, so what's the mental health crisis you got? And she's talking about pandemic. Pandemic was another psyop, but she wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that. You guys not educated to know psyops, how they work. A lot of people, sad enough, got that VACCINE, and you about to take dirt naps because you don't know what psyops are. You know what a psychological operation is when you see it. He studied. I knew what it was. Well, first said Joby is a baby. Joby was scared to death. The Joby, this is a psyop. It's
Right.
phony. He's, how do you know? Because I know. What's this moron
Alrighty.
doing here, man? What's this dude doing? So,
Anna, you there?
I
yeah.
can. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
Is
Yeah,
she
we can
back?
hear you.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
she's
she's
back.
cool.
back.
I was like,
All
I've been
right.
trying to
All
fiddle
right,
with
she's
this thing.
back finally. Okay, let
Yeah,
me
I've been
go.
trying to fiddle with this thing for a while.
Let me go. She's
It's
Yeah,
back.
okay. You're welcome.
a
That's
really
good.
interesting conversation.
Yeah. We have a few questions here for you, Anne. Jiba is
Yeah.
asking, can epigenetic trauma be overcome or even cured?
It can be overcome, but it actually changes the way your DNA is formed. So like in short form, no, but it can be managed, and it can, like in long term, it can have less side effects, like as you go from generation to generation. But the real answer, no, it can't be cured. Well, there's no cure yet.
Right. Okay, we also have, is questioning your gender a mental health issue?
No. No, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's a person. It's not an
Wow.
issue.
Wow. So
Let's
you think
keep
it's
that.
normal? So you think it's normal to question your gender? This
I
the
think it's not.
lunacy. This is the
I
lunacy
think
we
I
about to
think
get
it's
in.
being I
This
think it's
the,
being heavily
this is the
perpetuated.
Western. This is the
I think it's
Western
definitely
lunacy.
heavily being perpetuated more than ever before,
This
for
is the
sure. And
Western
then
lunacy that we're talking about. This is the agenda that's coming from, the powers that be are pushing that all this gender affirmation is normal to not know whether you're a man or a woman. All this craziness is now, and it always, and shout out to Hollywood that we got controlled by these same people that's pushing this agenda. And go back 30 years ago. This was considered in the mental health field, considered you had mental illness. Okay? So that's
Okay.
anybody how they've evolved with their nonsense in 30 years. That 30 years ago you say this, you was out of your damn mind. Clinically. Clinically you were out of your mind. But now, oh, I don't know if I'm a woman. I don't know if I'm a man. And the creator got it wrong. I don't know if I should have a penis or a vagina. If you don't get out of here with this nonsense, this is something that they're pushing to depopulate the planet, fam. It's confusion. So, to say that now it's all, no, people didn't know whether they were women or whether they were men. That's all nonsense. And you can't, and that's why you're seeing all these movies, all these actors, and all this. So because it's an agenda being pushed out. And I said this 30 years ago now. I said, oh, this the agenda. Okay, all right. Always understand when they make movies, family. It's always to push
What do you
an
think about
agenda.
that? What do you think about that, Anne?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But that's why I'm gonna say we have to agree to disagree, because a lot
Yeah.
of things that were seen as mental illness even 10 years ago have been disproven. So when it comes to
Yeah,
this, is,
yeah.
is
The
the
whole,
agenda being is the
yeah,
agenda
the
being
whole.
pushed much more than ever before? Absolutely. But is it a form of
Mm,
mental illness? I do not think so.
right.
Look, the whole scam of psychology has been pushed as a scam. It's made up science, family. And we said it for the. Have you have any going back to my college days? And Tip, I always kind of knew it was this is a scam. It's it's this psychology stuff. You get Carl Jung, and you have Sigmund Freud, because they don't. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's to push medication, to make these pharmaceutical companies rich. Most of the stuff is all fallacy. Shout out to the real scientists that are now finally calling it out. It's not based in any science. It's not. Well, I feel this way. Oh well, okay. Well, you got this. You got this kind of disease. What? so, so they give everything all these long Latin names that mean absolutely nothing, right? So, gender dysphoria, family, is confusion. To say that you can turn a man into a woman to a man, these are genders. These are called psyops. You go deep into what's causing this pattern. I said you have intelligence agencies that are pushing this dysphoria to depopulate the planet, to destroy the family unit. It's in their papers. So this is not me being hyperbolic or me speaking hyperbole. It's in their papers. CIA and Mossad, MI6. This is to destroy the family. Since they control all the media, they control Hollywood. This is what they put out there. Now we must accept all this craziness. Say yes, it's normal. I'm 5 years old. I don't know why I got a penis. I should have a vagina. Not saying that this is a child and his mind's not fully developed. It takes time to develop the mind because the mind doesn't develop until you're 25 years old. So you shouldn't have any decision making when you're 10 that you want to be a girl now, okay? Because your mind is underdeveloped. But that's what they're pushing. They said a child should have the right to say now. That's why you see all this shit. I can't even. We're on YouTube, and we're just on a network. I can say what I really want to say. That's why you see all this craziness with this kid talking to Michelle Obama, no good, but about, oh, I'm transgender now, and it's so great. How do I feel? This kid like 11 or 12 years old, and she's smiling at this wacky shit like this is normal. Like this is like what? This is dysfunction, family. You can't have a 12-year-old kid making a decision that he's a girl now. He's a child. The childlike mind. You don't do this to children. This is really, to me, child abuse. This is child abuse. But that's what they want. This is destruction of families. What they do. Like, this is crazy. So you're giving a child gender blockers and all kind of crazy stuff to validate this insanity. This is insanity. That's why you got in America now where we're at, you got grown-ass men going into women's bathrooms. You think this is normal? You think this is okay? Go to my daughter's bathroom and tell me you think it's okay. See if I don't put my hands on you. You're out of your mind. Some grown-ass man with a beard. I feel like I'm a woman. I don't give a damn what you feel like.
Right.
I don't care what you feel like. You better get your ass out of here. That's the confusion that they want to cause. And it's all, they destroyed the country. And if you say something about it, oh, you're homophobic, you're transphobic, you got women, men, my fault, I can't even get it right. I can't even say it right. You got men talking about they women racing and swimming races with women and regular racing with women. Then what is a woman then? If a man can be a woman, what the hell is a woman then? What is it? If I can put on a wig and say I'm a woman, what is a woman? What is a woman? Does a woman have no value no more? It's straight craziness. Go ahead.
It is. But I believe that people have those different opinions in regards to that. But
it ain't an opinion. It ain't an opinion. It's the destruction of society. Everybody will say something that is an opinion. When you see the fruits of something and it causes confusion, anything outside of nature, you look at nature. If nature tells you something's wrong, it's wrong. People want to say, oh, well, if nature's saying, hey, this is wrong. Okay, let me give you an example. This common sense, this nature, okay? Put 100 homosexuals on an island. Come back in 100 years and see how many people left. Right. If that's nature, okay? Put them on there. Or 100 transgenders. They want to tell me a transgender can have a baby. I'm like, oh man, don't get out of here. Just everything's anti-nature now with these people. Everything's anti-nature with these people. But you don't got a problem. That's all normal now. It's supposed to be all accepted because the people that actually run this planet, that's what they're pushing. This is dystopian. This is dystopian, to say the least. It's insanity at its core. got cartoons pushing this filth in front of your children. It's mind control.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Let me get out of that. I'm asking your guest. What is a woman? What is it? Do we got a definition of a woman? Is a woman anymore? If anybody can be a woman, what is a woman?
She's there. Are you there?
I'm probably scared away.
Oh my gosh. Don't mind Kate, Ann. Don't
if anybody can be a woman, I was asking, if anybody can be a woman, what is a woman then? What is it? What is it? If it's not biological, if anybody can be a woman, what is a woman? What is it? Since anything and anybody can now be a woman, Give me the definition of a woman then. Please, I like to know. I'm be quiet. Talk to me like I'm a fifth grader.
Is it a
Like I'm
question to
6 years
Anne?
old.
Is it a question to Anne Kiss?
Yeah, I'm asking her. She said it's normal to have gender dysphoria. I'm asking her. I want to know if anybody can be a woman, and this is normal because it's not psychological problem anymore. If
Okay.
anybody can be a woman, to define to me what is a woman then? What is it? I'm I'm stupid. Help me understand what is a woman. If anybody can be a woman, what is a woman then? I want to know. If a man can put on a fucked up wig and say he feels like a woman and go in a woman bathroom and be accepted as a woman, then what is a woman then? What is the definition of a woman? I like to know. See, being an actor, they're not allowed to say anything about this no more. All these actors have all got to accept this shit. Shout out to my cousin who's was in Hollywood. I'm not gonna say their name. They don't want me to say my cousin. You guys would know pretty famous. I never brought their name up. I never bring their name up. Y'all know I'm from LA. I never gonna. They gotta say it, and I know they gotta say it. Don't say my name, Keith. I never say you destroy my career. I'm not gonna destroy your career. You no good bastard. They all gotta say it. They all gotta push this agenda. I know in Hollywood they do. I'm from Hollywood. I know they do. They push this nonsense. So I'm not gonna say no names, but I just want to know if everybody can be a woman, then what is a woman? Give me the
Yeah,
definition.
I'll inquire from Anne Mora in regards to like she's in the film industry, and I wanted to ask if a lot of mental health awareness issues is being portrayed in the acting industry in regards to for us to really talk about it or feel free talking about it. And are you
I think
there?
we lost. I think we lost her again. I think we lost it. The film industry, as far as mental health goes back to
She's there?
society that's been. Is she back?
Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
All right. Please ask the question again because you were in and out.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry about yeah, I was asking actually, since you're in the film industry and also basically in the industry, do you see like the mental health awareness discussion or topic is really portrayed in this character or movies? Because in this generation, that's what people are going through. And I feel like Bonga, as a platform that you're really are so passionate about, is something which has really been a train for a lot of people in the industry to really talk about this. And the
Mhm.
fact that you're in the film and the acting industry, is that a part that is really portrayed in the mainstream media?
I mean, you're seeing it being glamorized a lot more. They're making it
Okay.
like sexy to be sad. So finding that
Mm,
balance as well, because it goes from giving information to glamorizing a situation. So finding
right.
that balance and finding that like line, even having that conversation at home with your children or your teenagers, because that's the age that they really are selling it to
Yeah.
them and really glamorizing it, and
Mm,
understanding, is it a social psych, like, is it depression, am I actually depressed, is honestly the point of conversation, or is it just like
right.
sexy to be sad at this point? That's
Right.
what a lot of TV shows and series are doing. So finding that
Mm,
balance has been like quite an interesting step, because it's
mm,
great for starting conversations. It's great for getting these conversations
yeah.
started, and maybe people even questioning themselves and like wanting to seek help. But then at the
Hmm.
same time, it's about figuring out, am I relating to this character because I actually
Hmm.
maybe I'm bipolar, or am I relating to the character because it's the in thing right now?
And as you're saying, it's being glamorized. It's they're making it look like it's a good thing to be in this state, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's about finding that
Alrighty.
fine line. I think if people even
Uh-huh.
talk to their kids at home, it'd be such a simpler conversation, you know what I mean, starting it off at home, because there are literally some mental illnesses that sadly are not avoidable, like postpartum depression, bipolar as well can be hereditary. So there are
Right.
some certain conversations that do need to be had, and I do know
Sorry, guys, the connection today is really dire, but we're getting a hold of it.
Can you
Are
hear
you
me?
there? And I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah,
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of people do need to have those conversations in the house. Like we
mhm.
don't know our medical history, and that becomes a
Yeah,
really
that's
big
true.
problem.
That is so
Yeah.
true. And I feel like also in our education system, which is really, really messy, we're not really taught about this, like
Yeah.
really formally. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like if somebody is able to, okay, most schools in regards to international schools or people who are have studied outside Kenya have had this conversation in schools, but in Kenya, it's not something really that is in the system that I can think of, and I feel like that's not really a path that a lot of people are growing up. What will be basically, as you're saying, it's a good thing that they're taught this in their household because the system or education system does not really offer this, and I
Yeah.
feel like you being um starting Bonger at your the industry that you're in right now has been such a help for a lot of people, and I'm hoping that it's gonna really really grow. And also,
Yeah.
we can basically you can tell us maybe the causes of mental health illness in regards to this.
Yeah, so like, so especially with just watching Bonga grow, that conversation, because now access to the internet has changed the way Africans
Yeah,
are interacting and engaging. Yes, you might not learn it in school, but the unlimited resources that the internet can give you, number
right,
one, it can one create confusion, but on the positive side, it allows you to have access to information, and information is so powerful. It's such a important tool, right? Knowledge is power.
right,
So with Bonga, most people don't know this, but 1 in 9 Kenyans is diagnosed with a mental illness, and then 5 out of 6 Kenyans do not get any help that is necessary, or are unable to have the resources to get any help for mental illness. One in
right.
5 commit suicide. It is now the second highest for young men for age 18 to
Mm,
about 35. We're now
right,
seeing numbers going up, especially men in Kenya.
right.
And the numbers seem to be going up more and more.
For men,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really serious because we've
It
been
shows
talking
your
about, yeah, like men nowadays, we can see a lot of men also they do not, okay, I can talk about this in the train of a lot of like marriage is not working, relationship not working. What's your take on this in regards to mental health awareness and relationship, or men understanding who they are, their identity? Does he have like a twin to it?
Yes, of course, absolutely. Absolutely, it definitely has a correlation to it. And you also have a lot more women becoming more independent now. So they
Mm,
kind of, from talking to men, from being in like men's circles and like having these little chats with them, they do feel like they're under attack, but they also feel like they're not useful anymore. A lot of guys have always kept mentioning
mm,
that they kind of feel like their value for so long was based on being the head of the house,
right,
and now they're kind of just like they feel like an afterthought. And
right.
it's this in between where it's you just don't really know where you stand in society, so then it's causing them to be really angry.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah.
But I believe like the man should be like the head of the house, right? Or our
Yes.
women are basically not giving them that opportunity. What do you think
Yeah.
about that? Which they should, right?
Yeah, I guess. But
Or
if you're not doing it, if you're not doing it, you can't. You both can't drown. You know what I mean? You
okay.
both can't drown. Yeah.
So what will you do in that situation then?
I find a better. No, I'm kidding. I I find I find it that really tough because it's like may the best man win, and no offense, if you're not taking accountability, you'll get left
Uh-huh.
behind. You know,
Right, right.
and
So
for women as
basically,
well, may the
uh-huh.
best man
Just go ahead.
win. Yeah, and for women as well, you're seeing like a lot more. It's gone from being, oh, I just wanted to be taken care of, blah 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 blah, and everyone now has to pull their weight, and I think that's where people are getting lost. Some people feel kind of entitled On
Mm.
both sides, of this conversation. Yeah.
Alrighty, but do you agree with the fact that the man should be the head of the house, and I feel like you should be supportive as a wife and also be there for him, regardless if you're earning more than him.
No, I think that's changed so much. I think like normal
She's being all
roles
nice.
have.
That's a no.
Yeah, I think that.
That's
Yeah, I
that's
think
a
that's changed
that's a
so much. I
that's
think
a that's a no.
whatever
That's
works
a
for you in your
no. She's
house,
trying,
but that is a no. Whatever works for you and your house works for you in your house. But I don't believe that
that
anymore.
that's a no. Is it? He's trying to put it in a nice way. That's a no.
What did
Yeah,
you say, Anne? You said you don't
yeah.
believe in that,
No, I don't personally. I
right?
used to, but I no
Oh,
longer believe that.
okay. So you basically don't believe in being there, holding down your man in
She's
regards to
telling
the
you
dirt.
no. How
Yeah.
many times does she got to tell you no, Iraton? That's a no. Move on. Move on to the next question.
Alrighty, but we can see that and we can see that maybe let me give you this story in
Okay.
regards to maybe you've started out with this guys. He's also in regards to maybe the correlation to mental health awareness. You've started with this guy. He's been there for you. He's been holding you down as a woman, right? In your dreams and your
Right.
aspirations, right? And then maybe everything works out for you.
You
And
keep
some
trying to go
women,
around the corner to get her to say yes.
not
She told
really,
you no.
not really. In Africa also, right? And everything is going well with you. You're doing better, and maybe your man needs support, right? Would you not be there
Okay.
for him, man?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I support, but I gotta see you get like stand up. You know what I mean? You can't just stay down. You can't get comfortable with it. And I want you to
Mhm.
support me as well. That's what the partnership. But I feel like it works. Whatever works for you works for you. It's not like everyone's is gonna work the same. You know.
All
Obviously, I would
right.
like pick my man up when he's down. But
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
he's happy to stay down, I don't think I'd be able
Mm,
to stay down with them for so long.
right.
But
Right.
that's
Completely.
for me. But that's
She's
me
telling
personally.
you.
I have
She's telling you.
girlfriends who take
She's
care of
out.
their men.
She's out the door. She's out the door. That's what she's
Yeah,
telling you.
and I have
I'm.
girlfriends who take care of their men. They're the breadwinners, and congrats to them. That works for them.
Yeah.
Do I get it? No. But
More,
for them
she's more
problem.
like a she's more like a shamani. She's out. Goodbye,
Yeah.
deuces.
Yeah.
Right. So true. We have few comments here on StreamYard. We have Danny Harrison saying that as Black people, we're a weird combination of a plant and a battery. The best way to recharge is through the sun. And also Jibari saying, my friend's wife was a Zaloft psychoactive drug. She went nuts and had to be hospitalized when she tried to quit it. That's what is in regards to the medication that you're talking about, Anne?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be so careful when you're weaning off of psychosomatic medication. You can go madder than the issue that was being fixed before.
Right.
You have to be so
That is
careful with it
sad.
because it is a chemical imbalance. So it completely changes your
Mm,
like blood chemistry. It completely changes your body. So yeah, you have to be very very careful when if anyone's getting off of medication. You shouldn't just stop.
right. Right. So
Yeah.
do you think it might be like a problem, like always being on medication? Why do they like not train people to just be okay without the medication?
Well, now see that's the part. It depends on what mental illness you have. Like if
Mm,
you are bipolar,
right.
it literally is a chemical imbalance. So sadly, that's like the one thing that will balance like your chemicals would be chemicals. But if you have like depression, they do teach you. Well, it depends on who you go to, but they will teach you
Yeah.
tips and tricks on how to handle low days, or if you have anxiety as well, how to do breath work, foods to avoid as well, stimulants to avoid. There's ways around it, but some mental illnesses you genuinely do need to get a balance.
It's so true. We have Danny Harrison. He's saying information is a stimulant. Your brain responds to stimulants. See how your brain reacts to learning about itself. It's fascinating. And also, he says it's only natural that men will have more mental health problems. Trust me, it's a lot tougher being a man. What do you have to
Okay.
say to the men? And
Like, I'm like, yo, yeah, it is tough for me. I find it tough. I think it's tough being a man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what?
Right. We were
No,
having a conversation here before we really close. We're having a conversation in regards to the 50-50 agenda. Like the woman 50-50 in the household, right? And there are a lot of conversation or opinions in regards to that because not as men seeing women as independent women, and they're like, okay, we can do 50-50, and maybe some other women are okay with that. Is it something you recommend, or is it something you'll definitely um run for?
no. For me personally, like for
Yeah,
me personally, that's I
yeah,
just told you
of
multiple
course.
times that's not working for me.
He
But
told
if
Mm.
it
you
works
no
for you,
again. Told
yeah,
you
it's a
no on
no.
your. He told you no on your bullshit.
Guys,
No.
Yeah, if it works for you, be proud of your
for
decision. It
me, no,
wouldn't work for me.
I'm basically asking a question here in regards to the conversation that we're having. But this
Feel like
really,
I feel like I'm talking to Shamani up in here.
money's my co-host right here. She's like, no, 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 no,
I've
two
said no
fifty
for me
fifty
personally. It
agenda.
just doesn't work for me. Like it's not my thing. It would not.
Mm.
Even the thought of it makes me stressed.
Alrighty, we
Boy,
have
boy, you be. That's why the man's in mental health problems. He said, boy, with you being broke, it's making me stressed. I'm leaving. But what
right.
about my mental health? Damn your mental health.
No, no, I'm not saying that. I'll get you the help you need. I have Bonga. Bonga has free anonymous
Ah,
counseling.
I get you the help you need, but I'm gone.
dang, dang, and we have Danny Harrison again. He says, if you're a woman and you've got to take care of the man, that means he's inadequate as a man. Even if a woman offered to take care of me, I would rather go to a homeless shelter
Oh
and figure
no.
it out. That's what he said.
I mean, yeah, that's fair
I agree
thinking. Like,
with you,
look,
Dan. I
let's
agree with
Yeah,
you. When a woman takes care of a man, she gets to be disrespectful to you. I agree with that too.
right. That's a good
yeah.
take from Danny Harrison. And also, Danny Harrison said that it's called addiction. That's why here in America, there's a drug epidemic that's all started with people abusing pharmaceuticals, as Anne mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. Uh huh.
I mean, like, I just want to give you like more stats about Kenya as
Yeah,
well, because it is such a growing
sure.
issue. Like, okay, so 300 million people worldwide
Mm-hmm.
suffer from either depression. That's the main mental disorder that people have. But then in Kenya, men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide. It's 5 and 6. Especially Kenyan men, don't get
Because
the treatment that
because
they
you're
need.
leaving them, man. Because you're leaving them. That's
One
why.
in four, 1 in 4 Kenyans will suffer from a mental disorder at some point in their lives. These are people
Right.
who are procreating and having more children. So if you don't have these conversations, you're just kind
Mm,
of carrying this generational curse of like, you know what I mean? Like you're not
right.
dealing with. We were talking about dealing with the root of it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't dealt and then you pass it on to your child and they don't even know that they're carrying their sufferers,
Mm-hmm.
then and then society triggers you. Then it's like you have societal factors that can change as well. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, what do we do, especially in Africa, especially in Kenya?
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, bonga is just like a band-aid on this. It's like a broken leg, you know.
Right. So I'd like to basically pull up in regards to how can we change the stigma around mental health before we close.
I mean, for sure, it is a lot more communication. Um, they like, especially that's what I keep saying, especially for men, they really need to
Yeah.
just drop that stigma. As we have this thing of secrecy, especially in Kenya, right?
Mm-hmm.
People would rather die with their secrets and
No,
get the help that they
that's
need.
Africa. That's not just Kenya.
Yeah,
That's Africa.
yeah, yeah. They would rather die with their secrets and get the help that they need. But I think it's not putting that ego and that pride to the side and saying, "Yo, I need to get the help," or even not just for me, but when I say for my children or my
Yeah.
family. If I'm seeing something, I need to start saying something. You can't just let people suffer in silence and
Right.
in the name of family.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely
Uh,
destigmatize, just talking about it. The resources are now there. The access
yeah.
to anonymous counseling, the access to men's group. There's so many activities, not just with Bonga. There's Mental 360 that does just activities just for men, just for women, just for teenagers, just for
Mm,
people who are maybe autistic or bipolar. They have those are now out there. So just
right,
taking that first step and
right.
yeah, and really making an effort to be okay.
But we also have like I've kind of like communicated or talked with some men, and they really do not really they're not delving into this thing about talking about their feelings or whatever you're going through. Like, it's what do you have to say about that?
I
Like, they
mean,
don't. It's like this Africanism in them, and they're like, no, that's being weak as a man. I cannot talk about this to my friends, or basically is what you've said, right? To rather they die instead of sharing whatever they're going through.
yeah, I mean, like we see with women's groups, we see with like chamas, you know what I mean, they
Yeah,
rally together. If a woman's not down financially, they rally together. With the men,
it's
which
so
we've
true.
noticed quite a bit, is they don't even talk, and then by the time they are talking, they're in such crippling debt that they'd rather
Mm,
sadly commit suicide or go into
right.
alcoholism.
It's so true, which is so sad. But
So even
thank you so much.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
thank you so much. Yeah, I was just gonna say, even like if
No,
you're having a drink with your boys, ask them
yeah,
like what's actually going on. You know what I mean? Or
Well, I'm
right.
telling you, I'm telling you, I'm okay. I'm with the boys. I'm at the man. I'm at the end of my rope. Is either the rope or the bottom. Which one should I choose?
Mm, really? Wow. Yeah, that's a word. We
yeah,
have another comment by Jiba saying the most difficult job on the planet is to be a Black American man.
interesting.
And then Danny Harrison says that that's because men are not emotionally motivated. We respond with logics fast. That's true. That's why we much rather figure things out. That is so true, really. But I feel like they should really try because we need men in the society. I believe in that. I
Yeah.
really do. Yeah, they should really try. But your last take in regards to redefining Africa and the mental health awareness and the stigma behind it on your last take on this, and also your social medias, and also the platform that people can really engage in regards to talking about their mental health experiences and how to deal with that and more.
Okay. I would
Mm-hmm.
start with mental health platform. It's called www.bonga.oa.ke. So it
Mm-hmm.
has African therapists, Black therapists as well. So they actually really get the African
Okay.
context of what's going on. We've really made
Right.
sure to do that. We curate that.
That is nice.
And yeah, and then my social media is it's Anmora. And then for me, I just say destigmatizing is just continuing to have that conversation, even if it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It will save a life. Telling a friend, just making sure people understand and are aware that there's
Mm.
nothing wrong with them. Sometimes the situation just sucks, and society's
Right.
had like dealt you some real shit cards. So how do you do that? You rally with the resources that you have. You talk about it,
Right.
even if you
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable. It's just a first step. It's such an important first step. If you see changes in behavior in one of your boys or your girls or your friends, to do something about it. Say something about it. That can be
Right.
such a big difference. That can make such a big
Mm.
difference.
That's
If
honest.
someone's
Thank you
going to
for
be
that.
here today or tomorrow.
That was very
So yeah,
Yeah.
honest. Glad you said that.
Yeah.
That was a very honest response.
Mm.
yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely agree with that. Like, that's really important because mostly we really gather around or just hang out with our friends, and we really don't know what's happening with them. We don't ask them like how you're doing. We don't talk about like the main important fact, and then the next day you hear like some really emotional news, and you're like, I was just with my friend yesterday. So I really think what you've said right now is really such a basic in regards to where we are in the platform that we're in. Like, just let it be like something really normal to talk about. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, has been great. Thank you so much for always making the time. I know I've been trying to reach you like for quite a while, but I really, really, really appreciate your support in
Yeah.
regards to joining in conversations. I'm hoping to have you again.
Yeah, of course. That was fun. It was good.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I'll send you the link in regards to this conversation, and we'll definitely continue to share this rally and campaign in mental health awareness and the stigma behind it. Thank you, everybody who are joining us live on StreamYard, on live on TikTok, Facebook. It has been amazing. It has been really great to talk about this mental health awareness, redefining mental health awareness and stigma behind it on Let's Pop with Iraton. See you tomorrow or Wednesday on Let's Pop, same time, in regards to redefining Africa and the African culture. Thank you so much and have a great afternoon. Bye, sweetie. Have a great
All
day.
right. Bye. Bye. Have a great day.
Bye. You too.